In the previous video, we discussed cortisol, so I thought it would only be natural to have this next video be all about caffeine and how that plays a role in cortisol regulation, or maybe not, and a few other items. So caffeine is something that is not a black or white answer, because every body is different, and depending on what you are used to, what your circumstances are, where you're at hormonally, both with your estrogen and your cortisol, it's really going to be different person to person. But for most of us, cortisol levels will definitely be impacted negatively. If you are already high cortisol, caffeine is going to bump up cortisol, okay? You feel it in your body, you feel it's a stimulus, and you have it, and your heart rate goes up a bit. Maybe you feel just the oomph in you. You're actually motivated to get out there and do stuff, so that is just directly correlated with increasing. So it's important to know that if you already have really out of control high cortisol, that you want to ingest your caffeine in the healthiest manner possible. So that would be waking up in the morning, and instead of just going straight for that coffee and having coffee alone without anything. And I know that, this world of fasting, we've been drilling it in our heads that you wake up and you have black coffee, nothing else, and you just run off a black coffee, and that's the way to go. But honestly, for most of us who do have high cortisol, that is going to be the reason why you are having issues. So with this, and I didn't even hit on the fact that if you do have high cortisol, that's typically the reason why you can't burn fat efficiently, because you're going to be storing fat, okay? So with having this issue, wake up in the morning, have a glass of water, and then have a little food, and then have your caffeine, okay? Whether it's coffee, it's tea, whatever it is. Now, different types of caffeine work differently in our body. Some people claim matcha, black tea, those are better options than coffee. I think it's very slim, the changes from one to the next. But if you really want to fine-tune everything and you really want to make sure cortisol levels are in a good place, then incorporating adaptogenic coffee or caffeine-free options in the morning is going to be really good. But I do think that even just reducing it slightly is going to be helpful for you. So remembering not to just have it solo, because if you're having caffeine by itself versus having that buffer of the food, of the water, that's going to support your cortisol levels much more. But it definitely has a negative impact on cortisol if you already have high cortisol. Now, if you have adrenal fatigue and you have very low cortisol, you are that much more susceptible to, having a spike. So you really want to make sure that you are careful with that, because with the spike, although it seems like that would be a good thing, you're also going to have that quick drop in energy. So for most people that already have low cortisol, you're probably going to feel even worse with that. And that's what we find with adrenal fatigue, is people are trying to live off of coffee and caffeine all day long, and that is just adding to this issue. So if you can really try to improve your energy through whole food nutrition, low glycemic nutrition, doing things like walking slowly throughout the day, and incorporating the right supplements into your world, it's really going to slowly transform and get you to a healthy hormonal spot. It's also going to have, caffeine will have a slight negative impact on insulin resistance or sensitivity. It's going to be making you more insulin resistant, so make sure that you're aware of that. It's more for the people that already have insulin resistance, that have a heightened spike with their blood sugar when they do have the caffeine, so just be aware of that. But yes, a lot of pros and cons to caffeine, and I think that in general you just need to do it in moderation. If you have issues with sleep, I highly suggest cutting off your caffeine at lunchtime, not having anything between lunch and dinner time, because that will not make your sleep patterns any better. It's just going to work against you. So hopefully that was helpful. And again, everything in moderation. If you want a link to an adaptogenic option, then you can see that provided. And we'll see you in the next video.